Okay, since I posted a video of me playing Hot for Teacher, I had several people ask me how I achieved that double kick shuffle pattern. And I've had people ask me this in the past. I've done a couple things over time to achieve this. I only have a single kick. I've had a double kick pedal off and on throughout the years. It never really stuck with me. I've had some fun with it, done some creative things, but I never really enjoyed it. I didn't do much with it other than fool around. But I had, from time to time there'd be call for double kick patterns, and I've only had a single pedal. So I utilized my floor tom. Now, this is a 14-inch suspended tom, and it doesn't really achieve that kick drum sound that a larger floor tom does. On my live performance kit, I have a larger floor tom, and I deaden the head significantly so it doesn't ring as much. I've tried to deaden it quite a bit here. I like my toms to ring, but I'm trying to deaden it here a little bit to achieve that. It won't be perfect, but the mechanics of it are the same. By way of explanation, I'll talk a little bit about how I came to derive these double kick patterns, and then I'll get into the Hot for Teacher thing. So basically, the idea is a hand-foot combination using either the right or left hand. It should be also said that when I'm playing Hot for Teacher, I move my kick drum, my floor tom in as close to my knee as possible, just to leave enough room for passage of my leg between the snare and the floor tom, so I can be pretty quick about getting from the floor tom to the snare drum. All right, so the double kick drum patterns are many, and originally I started doing 16th note patterns between the right hand and the snare, or the left hand and the snare, to achieve just basic 1-iana, 2-iana type patterns. Thusly. And just getting that 1-iana, 2-iana feel smooth. And then putting in the snare drum. Now, depending on whether you want to add a metronomic figure like the ride cymbal or the hi-hat will determine what hands you're going to use for what. But if you're going to go right hand between the floor tom and the snare, it would work something like this. And of course, your technique, endurance, and speed determine how quickly you can do this. And you can do that, of course, with your left hand. And that allows you to play ride figures, which are important when playing groups. So that's just a basic 16th note pattern. The shuffle feel that is used in Hot for Teacher is a little bit more difficult to master. And I experimented with how to achieve this by learning a facsimile of Jeff Beck's Space Boogie groove, which is in 7, and it's got that really cool, I think Simon Phillips played it originally, it's got a really cool ghost note pattern on the snare drum. The problem was I'm not able to do the full ride pattern, but I was able to create a facsimile of it, and that's how I achieved this shuffle feel between the floor tom and the kick drum. And the basic idea of the shuffle, of course, is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, which gets you that bounce or that gallop. And that's what's used in Space Boogie. So we'll start with the basic pattern, which would be, and I'll do it with my right hand first. Add the snare drum on 2 and 4, and you've got the basics of the groove. Of course, pick up the speed. You work on getting your speed up, and you've got a pretty decent burning shuffle double kick pattern. But the Jeff Beck song has this Simon Phillips really cool ghost note pattern. So what I did was I started to add double strokes on the right hand every other time. And I added ghost notes on the snare. And as you can see, when I start doing this, I start putting my left foot where the kick drum would normally be. Da 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 da. A 1, 2, 3, 4, which helps me keep everything unified. Again. Now that's the beginning of the Hot for Teacher pattern I'm going to show you, but let me finish up with this Jeff Beck thing first. Then I ghost note on the snare, and Space Boogie is in 7, so it's got a neat little shift, and it goes something like this. And that might be up to tempo. It might be a little faster, but you get the idea. Now, the challenge was to get the ride cymbal. Now, I'm playing an open hi-hat to kind of simulate that. But if you get creative enough and you have enough coordination, you can do something like that. I haven't done it in a while. This is a pseudo version of it. Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, that's the basic idea. If I worked on it, I could probably get that ride back in there. So that's the foundation that I use for the Hot for Teacher tune. Now there's several parts of the Hot for Teacher, and I do different things. I do a facsimile of the drum solo at the beginning. It's not exactly what Alex does, mainly because I'm too lazy to learn it. But it suffices. It'd be odd to come right in on that part and then just start the song. So I came up with this. Again, it's a pseudo version of what Alex does at the beginning. Based on that, shuffle groove with a double stroke every other time. And then I play the varying tom patterns up here just to get the song rolling. And so on. Then the song begins, and we definitely need the ride pattern on this. So I switch it to my left hand on the floor tom. And I use that as the shuffle. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. But now I'm going a 1, a 2. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and the ride plays an odd kind of, and it's what Alex plays on the cymbal is a double and a single. And together that all sounds like this. Now again, this floor tom, or this suspended tom, does not sound like the floor tom. The floor tom is larger, it's got a lot more attack and a lot more depth to it, so it sounds more like a kick drum. You can even use the butt end of your stick to get a bit more impact on the floor tom. So I'll slow that down so you can see what's going on. A 1, a 2, a 3, and for a variation in there, I will go to my right hand on the floor tom to give it a little bit more variety. And so if you work with this long enough, you can get that bounce, that a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 pretty convincingly. You have your right hand free to do the ride pattern. And I'm also doing some accents on my left hand, soft and accents, which gives it a little bit more of a topography. It wouldn't really simulate kick drum so much, but it does give a nice little wave to it. And you combine that with your right hand doing those grace notes, and you get some flam sounds too. Do some barks on the hi-hat. As you experiment with this, you'll come up with your own ideas and interesting double kick patterns that you don't really need 2 feet going at the same time for. Again, if you want it to be authentic, you got to use 2 kicks because you sacrifice certain things because you have to move your hands to get the ride going. Sometimes, if I want to get that double stroke on the floor tom, I'll go between the ride and the floor tom. That's the Jeff Beck thing. It comes back after a while. Anyway, I hope this helps clarify some things about what I do double kick wise, and emulating a double kick pattern between the floor tom and the kick drum.